Good day, Chief here. Yes, I shaved the mustache. I'm doing the whole month of November. I'm not going to shave anywhere except probably here. Yes, I'm back in my Purple Pharaohs t-shirt because I need the brown for show and tell today. It's amazing how much more I could remember that I got a lot to talk about while I'm still at San Antone. And one of the things is this is where I got the brown t-shirt is because Battalion Commander told the companies when we do our monthly battalion runs, we're going to have a battalion t-shirt. So the battalion got theirs in blue without the squash bug or the eagle rising. So Murph went to the battalion commander and said, "Sir, the warrant officers would like to wear brown." Hearing strange noises. Would like to wear brown, if that's okay with you. And he says, yeah, just as long as all the warrant officers are dressed the same. So we did. So that's why I've got this brown one. And it says on the back side, "Freedom is not free," with the eagle. And then on the front, it says 314th Military Intelligence, Alamo Station. So that's where I got this, and that's what I'm wearing through the series. This is the only one I have left. I had 2 browns and 2 blues. And for some odd reason, I can't find either blues, and I did a brief look into my my war chest, as I call it, and I didn't see one hanging up along with the brown. And that's my last brown, like I said, so I hope it survives the series. It should, and I'll probably have to retire it to the war chest. And I got 3 of these, 3 of my Purple Pharaoh shirts. So we did battalion runs, and as I said, my first company commander, she couldn't do run. She was broken. So every month at the battalion run, she didn't have any lieutenants, so us warrant officers would fill in for her. I think I ran once for her because she had like about 10, 11 warrant officers in one company, which is really, really odd to see. At that time it was for me. So we did battalion runs, and of course when the brigade moved to us, our illustrious brigade commander who loved to run, he would come over occasionally and run with us. And then one day he was really upset because one of our company commanders was just recovering from surgery or an injury, I can't remember which, and wanted to lead her company, and they were the tail company that month, so they were really fading back because she was off of her profile and she wanted to run, and it happened to be one of the days that the brigade commander showed up, so he was doing I'm gonna run around the whole battalion. And when he got to my company, we were the middle company, and he looked and he saw them in the distance, and he just stopped and shook his head. I don't know if he yelled at her or not. Hopefully Colonel Smith stepped in and prevented that, but just one of those crazy stories. Now I want to talk about, I worked in that section that I helped create, and Army wants to see you work a multitude of jobs. Even though you're a warrant officer and you're working a job where your MOS is, they still want you to work in other sections, if at all possible. Well, there was no other section for me to go to, but there was a section where the department head was leaving, and I had already just been recently promoted to CW3, so they thought, well, this is a good slot for 3. This is where I work with the Air Force, and this is where I really cannot tolerate the Air Force. So I had a section that was about 12 members, all Air Force, and I had 1 Navy personnel. We got along great. I had one of the best NCOICs for the section. I'm going to call her out, Sergeant Mace. She was perfect. Before I'd come into work, she'd have all the daily reports, because the Air Force has all these daily reports. They want to make sure everybody's accounted for. I mean, that's normal anyway, but she would have all these reports done and shipped out. So all I had to do was walk in after I did my PT, because Air Force rarely did PT, so they were generally there before us. And I would say, Sergeant Mace, are we good to go for the day? And she goes, yes, Chief. And I would just look at her, and I said, I hate the Air Force. She goes, yes, Chief, I understand. I mean, that was our rapport. And what was really sad is that in the Army, when you move a person of that importance, you at least tell the OIC and or the civilian that is in charge of that section, and you would think that that signature would be required to move up one person from one section to another section. Oh no! Their Air Force Sergeant Major came to me like the day before. He says, Chief, he had this paperwork in his hand. He said, we're moving Sergeant Mace from this section to another section because she needs, advance her career and learn another job and all that. So he hands me this paperwork, and I looked through it. I said, Sergeant Major, there's a signature missing on this. He goes, oh, no, Chief, it's all coordinated. All the signatures are there. All the proper signatures are there. I said, isn't that funny? All the signatures are there except for the person that she works for, me. Well, Chief, he says, you can't delay this. This has already been approved, and you'll be hurting her career if you don't let her move. I said, that's not the point, Sergeant Major. The point is, why am I being informed the day before she moves? Why wasn't I, look at the date of this, almost a month ago. Well, that's how we do things in the Air Force, Chief. Oh, so you don't tell the department heads that they're losing personnel? And he just kind of looked at me. I mean, I was calm, cool, and collective. But, I had my points. I said, yes, she can leave. And are you replacing her with another airman of her rank? No, we're giving you an airman. Oh, so I got to have her train somebody else to take over all her duties in a single day. Yes, Chief, that's correct. I said, that's not how we do things in the Army. At least a couple weeks transition period. Oh, well, she's got to move day after tomorrow at the latest. Sergeant Mace was all panicked because she heard me. I didn't raise my voice, but she, being a snoop like you're supposed to be, was listening to part of this conversation, and she says, I'm so sorry. I said, Sergeant Mace, you have nothing to apologize for. I said, I just don't like the way that the Air Force conducts business. I said, everybody knew from such and such date, probably even you, and I know you had to keep it quiet probably until they said it was official, but I said, I was not informed, and you would think that the department head of the section that you were leaving would have a say-so, so I could say, yeah, you did really good, and if you need an evaluation report, I can write something up for you. Right now, they're not asking me to write anything up on you for the excellent job that you have done for me. So she left. Yeah, we got an airman, and nobody else wanted, because, when you're moving people around and all of a sudden, well, who doesn't want this person? We'll give him to this section. So I got nobody trained at all for my section. And between me and Sergeant Mace, we had to decide which of the NCOs in the Air Force that wanted to take over, and they were all like happy where they were, not wanting responsibility. Another reason I can't stand the Air Force is they don't like to, so a lot of them don't like to take charge. They get stuck in a slot and they're happy with it. I mean, I was stuck in several slots where I was happy with it, but I was also in a slot where I had to take charge occasionally too. So with reluctance, we picked somebody, and he got trained in a single day and everything. And then I went over and visited Sergeant Mace in her new section, and she still apologized. I said, Sergeant Mace, this is not your problem. I said, you know how it is. I hate the Air Force. And she goes, yes, Chief. And I said, good luck in your new section, and I said, I hope you prosper. So I came down on orders for Germany, which I will talk about trying to get to next week, because I will get delayed. Well, here it is. It's like I'm supposed to leave, I think, mid-July to go to Germany. It's after my kids are out of school. And I had already contemplated just before I made CW3 to get out of the military at 22 years. Because my daughter she helped opened up a high school. And if she had stayed, she would have been the first senior class to graduate. So I was really like, yeah, my kids are old enough that they want to stay because they made it friends and everything else. And I was going to sacrifice my career, but the trouble was at that same time there really wasn't any jobs. But I will talk about that probably next week too, about why I don't like being a contractor and everything else. So, different t-shirt, no mustache. I'll be back in the brown next week. Probably wrap up San Antonio. Don't have much. Like I said, I came down on orders to go to Germany, leave the middle of July, but that plane gets snafu'd the day before I fly. And I can't think of anything else I really need to talk about. I did like my section, my last section. I did absolutely nothing. That was the sad part. I couldn't even reach out and do anything. I tried, and they're like, Chief, you're a department head. Be a department head. I'm doing nothing. Good. You're happy? Yeah. I got rated good for being a department head. I felt like I was doing absolutely squat, but that was it. So, Chief out. Remember, freedom's not free. Thank a vet, kiss a vet, and if you're lucky enough, sleep with a vet. He'll appreciate it, or she will appreciate it.